Welcome to Movie Recap. In today's video, we'll be going through the 2012 fantasy romance movie Upside Down. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. Somewhere in a far, mysterious galaxy, two sister planets orbit each other in close proximity with a unique dual gravity, which can only pull the objects of the planet that they come from. Humans colonize these two planets and thus form two worlds which are supposed to be the same. However, together with the human colonists, an intensive hierarchy system is brought to the two planets where the upper world is rich and prosperous with modern buildings, while the lower one is poor and pretty shabby. People living in the down are not allowed to have any contact with the upper world unless they work for the Trans World Company, the only official physical connection linking the two worlds. The Trans World Company is run by the upper world and makes its profits by turning the cheap oil obtained from the down into electricity and selling it back to the people in the down at a high price. Someday, an explosion happens into the oil refinery plant in the down world, resulting in a massive catastrophe and the death of Adam's parents. Because of that, Adam is sent to an orphanage at a very young age, but almost every week he visits his great aunt, the only living relative to him in this world, and enjoys his favorite flying pancakes from his aunt, which is made of pink pollen gathered by bees from both worlds near the Saint Mountain that reaches very close to the upper world. When Adam is a little boy, he used to play there and meet this girl, Eden, someday, who is from the upper world. These young two are attracted by each other and develop a relationship soon. Due to the gravity, each time they want to date, Adam drags Eden secretly down to his side with a rope. They kiss passionately on the mountain top and enjoy a wonderful stroll in the woods where their body weight is offset by their respective gravity. Someday, however, while Adam is sending Eden back to the upper world, the approaching police in the down discovers the suspicious two and shoots Adam, who's injured in his arm, and drops the rope suddenly due to the great pain causing Eden to fall into the upper world, lying motionless in the heavy snow. Later, his aunt is arrested with her home burned down as a punishment for her improper custody. Adam is overwhelmed and falls into great sorrow for the loss of his lover and the family member. 10 years later, based on his constant research on the magic pollen, Adam finds a way to overcome gravity and is developing an anti-gravity product that is supposed to be used to remove people's wrinkles on their face. But the product seems unable to last long. Frustrated by the failure, though, Adam notices a girl showing up at a TV commercial is actually Eden, who has become an employee of the Trans World Company. Feeling excited by that, Adam rekindles his hope of life and later applies for a job in the Trans World Company, attempting to meet Eden there. Thanks to his findings in the anti-gravity research, he gets a job successfully. On his first day to work, Adam makes his friend with a colleague, Bob, who's from the upper world and very kind to offer help to Adam. Later, the company manager prizes Adam for his talent in the anti-gravity substance and has an exception, and for the research purpose only, allows him to get access to the inverse matter, which can overcome the gravity. But the manager also warns him that the inverse matter is strictly forbidden to take elsewhere, otherwise he would face a severe punishment. Meanwhile, his friend becomes upset about his taking use of research findings to get a job in the Trans World Company. Adam, however, explains that this is the only chance for him to meet Eden in the company, and he'll never forget what the company has done for him and his family in the past. Knowing that, his friend forgives Adam and decides to help Adam in the following research. Sometime later, during his research, he hides some packs of the inverse matter in the storeroom room, attempting to use it someday to get in their upper world where he can meet Eden. The next day, after leaving a message to Eden, in the name of Bob, Adam takes the inverse matter with him and enters the upper world secretly, where he gets so excited to meet Eden, who, however, due to the memory loss caused by an accident 10 years ago, is unable to recognize Adam. But instead, she believes that he's just one of the guys who just aim for having sex with random girls. Adam tries to recall her of his real identity, but to no success. Without better choice, Adam shows his new findings, trying to find a common topic with her, which turns out to be a success as Eden turns to raise her interest in him. But right then, Adam finds that his vest burns due to its long contact with the inverse matter. Adam has to rush to the bathroom for some excuse, trying to cool down the substance with water, but he's later astonished to find that he pees upwards due to the gravity from his own planet, which unfortunately activates the alarm system, causing him to race back to the down world. Adam ends up getting badly burned on his body. His friend warns him of the danger while taking care of his injury. The next day, right before the closing time for the day, the company declares a redundancy plan, and the friend Bob is one of them who gets fired before his leaving. Bob gives Adam his ID card and some personal stuff, which would allow Adam to enter the upper world and continue his dating with Eden. Later, after work, Adam makes a phone call to Eden in Bob's name and has a nice conversation with her. They plan to have dinner together later that evening. While taking the inverse substance inside, Adam leaves the company with Bob's ID card and enters the upper world for the first time, where he sees the magnificent lives of the rich people that are entirely different from the down world. He soon reaches the restaurant and meets Eden. They enjoy a happy talk together and share many common topics. However, due to the extended contact with the inverse substance again, his trousers and shoes begin to burn, causing him to part with Eden earlier than expected. Adam rushes out and later plunges into a nearby river to cool himself down with cold water. After throwing the inverse substance packs in the water, he's suddenly dragged back to the downworld by gravity. Not long after that, Adam makes a significant breakthrough in his research and shows his newly developed anti-wrinkle cream on an old lady, which turns to be effective and shares the company management. But right at the moment, Eden shows up in the demonstration room and finds the guy she dated with is not Bob, but an unknown man to her from the down world. Eden feels like she's been cheated by the stranger and leaves in anger. Adam goes after her in a hurry, but later only finds that Bob's ID card has been deactivated. He manages to get through the gate, which is however noticed by the security guard. Adam has to run away to avoid the capture, causing him to lose Eden during the hunt and run. After getting rid of the chasing police, he escapes to Bob's and asks for his help. Knowing his situation, Bob helps Adam to a vest containing the new anti-gravity substance, which could never catch fire again. Adam also shows Bob his discovery of mixed liquids from both worlds that can be used to resist both gravity fields. Meanwhile, because the anti-freeze compound remains unknown to the company, it fails to manufacture the product without Adam. So the manager orders his men to take Adam back as soon as possible. Later in a restaurant, Adam meets Eden and is surprised to know that Eden has recovered her lost memories. They could not help but kiss passionately in the public, which is, however, interrupted timely by the coming security. Frustrated by that, Adam has to run away immediately. He finally manages to make his way to the Saint Mountain top, where he meets Eden again and subsequently kisses her while floating, which ends too fast to be disrupted by the chasing security. In order to get rid of the security, Adam drops the inverse substance, causing him to be dragged back violently to the down world, but luckily, he lands safely on pine trees. Later, after wandering alone the streets, he is taken by the Transworld Company and is forced to tell them the compound secret of the anti-wrinkle crease. He's left in the downworld in despair, for he can't meet Eden anymore without any inverse substance. However, as Bob continues the research on Adam's new findings, he makes a breakthrough finally and then pays a secret visit to Adam in the downworld. He shows Adam the new effective way to overcome gravity by mixing waters from both worlds with the pink pollen. Adam feels very excited by that, where he's able to meet Eden soon to his surprise. Eden finds him later in the downworld and tells him that she's pregnant with his baby, resulting in their ability to stay free in both two worlds. Many years later, the two worlds have become prosperous as people in these separate worlds are no longer forbidden to contact with each other, but instead, they've encouraged to share their prosperity within the two-planet system. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.